Atlanta Mesothelioma Attorneys. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, our attorneys recognize that dealing with legal matters may not be a main priority during this time. However, filing a mesothelioma lawsuit may provide you with the compensation needed to cover current and future medical expenses. At Morgan & Morgan, attorneys will handle all aspects of the claims process so that you can focus on receiving medical treatment. The asbestos attorneys in our Atlanta office will work to seek a prompt resolution of your claim, which may provide you with compensation for the injuries suffered as a result of asbestos exposure.
Atlanta Mesothelioma Attorneys. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, please fill out the form on this page for a free, no-risk case review. In Georgia, there is a time limit in which a lawsuit may be filed, so please do not hesitate to contact our experienced asbestos attorneys today. See more at http://www.forthepeople.com/atlanta/mesothelioma-attorneys/#sign STHASH-BXV64.puff.
How a mesothelioma attorney can help. A mesothelioma attorney may take the following steps to ensure that you receive compensation for your injuries. Gather necessary medical evidence. Your attorney will collect diagnostic medical reports from the facilities where you were treated. The only known cause of mesothelioma is exposure to asbestos. However, in cases alleging other injuries, such as lung cancer, a medical expert can evaluate your medical records to determine whether your disease was caused by asbestos exposure. In addition, your attorney may work with the medical expert to evaluate the costs associated with necessary future medical treatments.
How a mesothelioma attorney can help. Perform a work history investigation. Your mesothelioma attorney will help identify when and where you were exposed to asbestos. For cases involving exposure to asbestos at work, your attorney will review your work history and may request employment and union records to demonstrate that you were exposed to asbestos in the workplace. Identify potential recovery from asbestos trusts. Many asbestos manufacturers have established trusts to compensate mesothelioma victims. If you have been diagnosed with mesothelioma and worked for a company that has established such a trust, your attorney may file a claim with the trustee seeking compensation for your injuries.
How a mesothelioma attorney can help file a lawsuit. If your asbestos exposure is linked to a company that has not established a trust, your attorney may file a personal injury lawsuit against the companies that manufactured, distributed, or installed the asbestos. Many companies that manufactured or distributed asbestos have gone out of business, or have been acquired by other corporations. Your attorney will research the corporate history of the asbestos companies involved in your case, to ensure that the proper parties are held accountable.
How a mesothelioma attorney can help. Litigate your claim and evaluate settlement offers. At this stage in the asbestos claims process, your attorney may request documents and employment records from the companies that cause you harm and conduct depositions of medical experts who have knowledge of your condition. Many mesothelioma cases settle before trial. If a settlement offer is made, your attorney will review the offer and help you determine if it is an appropriate amount of compensation for the injuries you have suffered. If the settlement offer is not acceptable, your attorney may try the case before a judge and jury. Our Atlanta mesothelioma attorneys are experienced litigators who have developed an impressive track record of success in the courtroom. The attorneys in our Atlanta office have the resources and capabilities needed to take your case to trial, if necessary.
Hello and welcome. If you are watching this video, then you or someone you know has been, or you are afraid might soon be, diagnosed with mesothelioma. I'm very sorry to hear that, but I'm very glad that you are watching this video. I am not a lawyer, nor am I a doctor, so I will be the first one to tell you to take everything I say with a grain of salt. I know that you are probably looking for a lawyer, and that can be difficult. These are the questions that went through my mind when I thought about having to get a lawyer. Who can you trust? How do you know they have your best interest at heart? How can you avoid getting ripped off? How do you know they are good at their job? I know where you are coming from. My husband is a cancer survivor, and I have done some research about how to find the best lawyers. I have put together a short consumer guide that I call How to Avoid Getting Ripped Off by Your Mesothelioma Lawyer. These are just a few of the things that I found that might be helpful to you when looking for a lawyer. For instance, did you know that there is a rating system for lawyers? I didn't either, but there is. I tell you what it means and where you can find these ratings. Did you know that the Yellow Pages is probably the worst place to look for a lawyer? Well, it is. I tell you why and share several other and better sources with you in this report. I will give you over a dozen questions you should ask your potential lawyer in an interview. The answers to these questions will let you know if they are going to work hard for you and get the job done or not. Choosing the right lawyer is very important. You don't want to make a mistake. Just come over to my website. It's on the screen there. Don't forget the dashes. And you can download my free report, How to Avoid Getting Ripped Off by Your Mesothelioma Lawyer. The report is free and it has fantastic information that you can use to find and choose the best lawyer for yourself. I would like to say you have nothing to lose, but really you have everything to lose if you don't pick the right lawyer for your case. In all fairness, I just wanted to let you know that once word gets out, I don't know how long I will be able to keep the website running. We're talking about lawyers after all, and the ones with bad ratings aren't going to want you to have this information. It's in your own best interest to get this report while you still can. If you get to my site and it isn't working, I'm very sorry, but they have probably blocked it. You might want to hurry. Please, don't retain the services of a lawyer without reading this controversial report. Come to my website and download your free copy of How to Avoid Getting Ripped Off by Your Mesothelioma Lawyer while you still can.
The people we represent seem to be like the people I could relate the best to and the people I could fight the hardest for.
John felt like if he went on his own and started his own law firm, he could do even more good for people.
The firm, since it was formed in 1999, has helped over 2,000 victims of mesothelioma. We have achieved the single largest verdict in the country for a single victim of mesothelioma. We have helped our clients recover over $3 billion.
We just wanted to be known as, you know, when we say we're coming, we're coming.
He cares about the families that are stricken with mesothelioma. He's a very down-to-earth individual that's very focused on getting results for people.
It's a very specific type of cancer that typically develops in the lining around the lung, and the only known cause of it in the United States is asbestos.
The firm's clients are made up of mostly your common, everyday, hard-working person.
The vast majority of people who suffer from mesothelioma have never filed a lawsuit before.
Historically, the disease always manifested itself in a lot of the trades. Boiler makers, shipyard workers, drywallers, mechanics.
They get struck down by this horrible disease in their golden years, in the prime of their life, when they ought to be enjoying themselves, and instead they're fighting, a terminal disease.
The youngest client I've ever represented was 28 years old. The oldest was probably 92.
We have a lot of victims now, unfortunately, that are the spouses of tradesmen. This is what we call a take-home case.
We don't want to just represent them. We really do want to make their lives as positive and peaceful as possible.
We have teamed up with many different medical institutions across the country to help them with their funding for clinical trials and research. What the firm's done, not only for their clients, but for the mesothelioma community as a whole, there is no doubt what sets the firm apart is not just the great legal work that they do, but the charitable work that they do.
The School of Medicine at Southern Illinois University was looking to build a cancer research institute, and the law firm made a pledge to the university to fund it over a several-year period, and it's called the Simmons Cooper Cancer Institute.
Our attorneys are probably a different sort than a lot of law firms. We look for attorneys who have almost a blue-collar work ethic. I call it boots on the ground.
The lawyers that work on the case provide the individual attention that each client wants and deserves.
We have excellent lawyers. You have some of the best lawyers in the country, and they know the science, they know the medical, they know historical information, they know about the experts and their background. There isn't a stone that doesn't get turned over to find out all we can on how to present these cases in the best fashion to get recovery for the families.
We all have our clients' interests at heart. No one here, in my opinion, doesn't understand the fact that we're here to do one thing, and that's to help our clients.